Okay. So. Hey, Man.
Hey,
How you doing?
I'm good. How
Good,
are you?
good, good. How's school?
It's all right.
A
I
lot of
had like a tough week last week at school, but like this week is like I don't have that much.
oh, that's good.
Birthday week,
Birthday week
21.
21. Yeah, that's exciting. So look, I got just us girls today. I'll probably talk to Deuce tomorrow. But this is a little different. And it's gonna be, I think it'll be a little interesting. It's me giving advice, but also just wanting to hear from you, the little pieces. And honestly, this was inspired a little bit by, we just lost a really important family member, in Yolanda. And, what really, really hit me was, the some of the short letters, that she wrote to her children. And
Oh, okay.
and I mean, really, that was like the thing that finally hit home for me in terms of, life being so short,
Yeah.
and you just never know when your time is gone. So really what that made me think of is like, what like couple of things would I want you to know, if
Okay.
something happened to me today or tomorrow, because tomorrow's not promised, right? And so I was thinking I would hold this off until like episode 10. But again, that just plays to the point. Tomorrow's not promised, so why hold it off? So I really racked my brain on like what are the lessons, and I wanted to keep it to 5. I just wanted to keep it relatively short. And so I really, really racked my brain, like what would I want to impart to my, 21-year-old, soon to be 21-year-old daughter. Um,
Very.
and so 5 things, 5 things. It'll be quick. Please feel free to comment and whatever you want to say. Like, this is our session, but this is my opportunity to tell you the things that I want you to know. The top of the list, and I actually, these are not in any particular order, but this first one is. And the first piece of like advice or lessons learned that I want you to have is, number one, love yourself. Love yourself. And that's not always easy to do. Uh, it took me till I was, well, like I would say I was 40 before I really understood the
Oh
meaning
wow.
of that. And Whitney Houston said it best, I think.
Love that song.
Learning to love yourself is the greatest gift of all. And that, honestly, when I actually embrace that and really listen to that line, like the greatest gift of all, and it really is. And the minute you, maybe that's happened for you already, but the minute you accept who you are, what you look like, where you are in terms of, what you want to accomplish in life, um, everything about you. You look in the mirror, you're happy to see who you are, and you're happy who you are on the outside and in the inside. And the work that you've put in to accomplish whatever you've accomplished so far. Um, you can begin to, you do begin to love yourself, but you shouldn't wait for all of that. And so my first piece of advice is that. So I don't know if you have any comments around
Yeah,
that.
I didn't think that was gonna be the first thing you said. Definitely not.
Well, it's going to be interesting what you think I may have left off the table, but first thing I want you to remember is to love yourself. And
Okay.
and that will impact you in relationships and everything else. Don't let anything make you believe that you're not worth it, that you're not beautiful, that you're not um everything that I'm telling you and your dad tells you and everybody tells you you are. So,
Yeah.
second thing, and these are not in any particular order, but this is the second thing I wrote down. Be kind to others.
Yeah, I like that one. That's like my thing.
Be kind to others. And it doesn't matter who those others are. Like, it's important for you to be just as nice to the person who's, coming in your room to clean it as it is to the president of Spelman College, in
Yeah.
every walk of your life. there's no reason to not be kind to people and show people grace and mercy, because we've all been given, just by our God, grace and mercy, and we've all been shown grace and mercy. And honestly, too, not that this is a piece of it, but you never know. You never know who you're going to need, and you never know when that kindness is going to be repaid to you.
Yeah,
But
that's why. Sorry, I was looking down at my phone because I literally just ordered a phone case.
oh Lord, you with the
Yeah, but I've had this one for a long time. But
that's
so I just ordered a phone case, and it says it's never a bad idea to be kind. And I just like having positive phone cases because like I work with children and stuff. Like
yeah.
when I'm at the gym coaching, like if I have a class or something, the kids will pick up my phone, or I'm trying to take attendance and stuff. Like I like to have positive things on my phone. So, but that's been like my thing because I remember like when I first got I didn't get when I got the Honda for the car, I got my little stickers. I always had that be kind. And that was I think that's something that like I feel like I have gotten from you. I feel like I've gotten the most of all of your children.
Oh,
But
yeah.
that's just my opinion. But I've always felt like just like it was so important. It's important to like be just like, well, that's just kind of how like you are. Like when we enter rooms, it's like, you know, you put a smile on your face, like you make everyone feel welcome, like you're flexible, you know what I mean? Like always just be kind. Like I really just felt like I really can could relate to that. Yeah, I feel like that's something that you would tell me to do because that's something
Yeah.
that I feel like I do. So I feel like that's something you would tell me to do.
Yeah. No, you embrace that. You do. You definitely
I'm
do.
like the best at it.
You definitely do.
I
I
can
mean,
really just flip it. Like I can flip kind and really fast, but I think I have the best like you know what I
it
mean?
takes me a while to flip it, but when I do, because I'm not the most controversial person. I don't like to be in controversy,
Mhm.
but that's kind of separate and apart. But no, I'm so glad that you feel that way.
Yeah. Because I
It
was like that, like in high school, like I don't know, like it just feels better to like be like nice to everybody, and everybody will like you that way. You know what I mean? Like if
yeah.
you just like be authentic, obviously, but
It
I've always
goes a long way. Yeah, be authentic. Definitely. Look, that
Mhm.
actually leads into the third thing I'm going to
Oh
say.
nice, yeah.
But that's true. Nobody likes a fake kind person.
Yeah, it's like you always say hello, like you say, like you said, like the person that's coming to clean your room, like you say hello, you ask them about their day, like it's you don't just like look at them and stare, you know what I mean? Like that was never something that we ever did. It's not like sometimes I'd be like, oh, did you see that? Like don't point, obviously, like you shouldn't
Yeah.
point, but a lot of the times I see something, it's like, and then Hosea always used to like give money to the people on on the streets in New York and stuff, and we just have always, I feel like we've always just been like just kind.
Yeah, y'all have good hearts. So
Yeah.
I am I am most proud of that, I gotta tell you. And so yeah, good lesson, something to pass on, but I think that you already know that. Um the other number 3 on my list is to be you. And basically that is going to just being your authentic self. And it's so hard. Um, at least in corporate America, it's been very hard for me to get there. I gotta say, I am there, not 100%, but so much closer to 100% than I've ever been.
Yeah.
Um, I think it'll be much easier in the, outside of corporate America and in environments that you're going to be in, because it's going to be so important for you to be you and your authentic self, because that's going to be really part of how the students relate to you.
Yeah.
So I think it'll be a little easier, but be you, be, it's, talent is everywhere. Um, anyone can do your job. Anyone, and I told this to people today, I was like, don't think you're so special that someone can't take over what you're doing or your job or whatever. What they can't do, what is unique to you, is you, and what you bring to it, and who
Yeah.
you are. And no one can do that. No one can be Imani. Trust me, I know. No one can be you. And no one can be me. At the end of
Because
the
being
day,
Imani is a full-time job. What about
Imani
it?
is a full-time job. And and at the end of the day, no one's gonna be able to bring that special piece of you to anything. So that's what makes you special. That's what's gonna make you continue to be successful. And don't change that for anyone. I don't care what environment that you're in. Um, if you can't be who you are, then you're in the wrong place. And so what I like to say is, I'm the same person, whether you see me in any room, whether it's the mail room or the boardroom, you're going to recognize me because that's
Yeah.
who I am. And so I like to use that line because in corporate America, you can think of like, okay, these the people who are chill and down and maybe in the mailroom. So yeah, I can relate to them, but also a whole nother breed of people, at least right now in corporate America, are going to be in the boardroom. How do I act when I'm there? Am I recognizable to the people who I just left it? Yeah, I want to be. That's the person I want to be. That recognizable person in any room. And
Yeah,
so
I could see that I could see that you've done that for sure.
yeah,
Like,
and it hasn't always been easy.
oh, like it's not like who's she talking to? Like who's she talking to like that? You laugh, and we're all like making fun of your laugh behind the door. But you're like, you're being like your same lively self, and then you leave the room and you do the same thing. So I could definitely see that you've like done that and stuff like that.
That's important. And it wasn't, I got to say, it wasn't always like that. I do realize, and I definitely realized in the last couple of years that it's allowed me to even be a better worker. Like I bring a better work product. I end up with better ideas, more creativity when I'm just being me, like when I'm not trying to pretend to do anything else. And so not only do I get the benefit of not having to pretend most of my day, I also get the job gets the benefit of me being even a better worker because I'm so
Yeah.
comfortable, in my skin. So the BU part is very important, and you know, don't change. I mean, you are who you are. You're unique. You're lovable. You have great ideas. You're very creative, and don't let any of that be stifled in any environment, for sure. So that's number 3. So love yourself, be kind to others, be you, your authentic self. Um, Number 4, woo, and this is so important. Um, Take care of yourself. Take care of yourself. We spend a lot of time, and you'll notice this, you'll see this more once you're a mom, once you're a wife, um, that we spend a lot of time taking care of everybody else. A lot of time. And there you have to carve out time for yourself, meaning, you know, eating healthy, exercising, going to get massages, facials, having some alone time, um, doing like if you have a hobby, doing that. Don't forget about the stuff that you love to do, and don't forget about your mental health. All that other stuff was like physical, but don't forget how important it is to, it wasn't all physical, but don't forget how important it is to take care of your mental health as well by, take having time for yourself, massage, like all the stuff that
Yeah.
anything that makes you feel good. So I don't know if you struggle with that now, but I'm constantly battling like, okay, I need to take this time to, for myself, exercise in the morning, do what I need to do, go get my massage. I'm getting better at it. Like,
Yeah, that's I feel like we're in like a different like time like period. So like now people are actually thinking about mental health, and like when you first started like working and stuff, that wasn't necessarily what anybody cared about like or thought about.
mhm,
So I think that now people are like, oh, self-care is so important, which it is so important. But I think that like a lot of people that are your age and stuff like that kind of like missed that like,
yeah.
oh, take care of yourself, like things
It
like
was a stigma. Mental health, um, it was a stigma to see somebody and talk to somebody and go see a
yeah,
psychologist or a psychiatrist. I think definitely I agree. The times have changed. People are thinking about wellness. 2020 has definitely accelerated that, which,
yeah,
if there's a silver lining, it's helped us to realize how important, it is to practice, wellness and meditation and whatever it is.
Mommy, I think
Um,
I'm getting dimples. Do you see them when I smile at you? Like
yeah, you may
like
be
a
getting
little
some.
bit.
Actually, it's so
Every
funny
time
because I
I do
actually
that, I'm
noticed
like
some on my
seeing them.
own. I noticed some of myself today, and it was so funny you say that because I was like talking and laughing. I was like, "Do I have dimples?"
Like I have dimples when I make like a small smile, not a big one.
Daddy has some. He has long ones, and they only come out whenever. It's not like a regular thing, so you may be getting that. Layla
Sorry.
has them too.
Yeah,
Um,
she had them when she was little, like a lot too.
yeah. All right. Well, that kind
All
of.
right, let's go. Sorry.
So
Now
that
I'm
that
feeling myself like
yeah, he got a little dimple coming out. I get one. I don't know. So before I go,
maybe
I'm
it's a
gonna have
wrinkle.
my dimples, huh?
Maybe it's a wrinkle coming in.
Oh Lord, don't say I already got the grays coming in. Um, so yeah, don't be so focused on everyone else. It's important to take care of other people too. I'm gonna be getting old, so make sure you take care of me. But the bottom line is to take care of yourself and take the time to do it. And more importantly, don't feel guilty about doing it.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm like, guys, I'm leaving. I'm going to get my massage and doing whatever. I used to feel guilty about being away from home for an hour, not anymore, but I used to. And so just don't do that to yourself. And then the last thing, and this is God's number one commandment, and that is love thy neighbor.
Knew it. There we go. All right, making sure I'm still good.
It's a simple, 3-word phrase, love thy neighbor. It means so much. It doesn't necessarily mean just your neighbor over here or your neighbor over there, which we still have to learn to love.
That neighbor over there.
Once you took that Trump sign down, it was but, but love thy neighbor. And I think when I thought about this one, I thought about a few things. One, what we were talking about earlier, learn to accept people for who they are. And once you kind of accept people, understand who people, who they are, and learn to accept that, you can learn to love. You won't feel resentment. You won't feel hate towards them. This is just who they are. Maybe they're dealing with a mental thing.
Yeah.
A lot of it is just like trying to understand people and learn to accept them. And then the other big thing I thought about is learn to forgive and forgive people. And that's not always easy. People will do you wrong, right?
Yeah.
But forgiving is not for them, it's for you. And once you take that out your heart, that you're upset with somebody because they did something wrong to you, it frees you. It doesn't really matter about them. You may not ever talk to them again.
Yeah.
But you can still forgive and you can still not feel hate towards anyone. And it frees you. And trust me, I've been wronged by plenty of people where I've had to forgive. And sometimes they were important people who had to be a part of my life. So I had to forgive. Or I made myself, really, really think about how I was going to do that and prayed on it, quite frankly. And it's very freeing. So forgiveness, again, is not really for that other person. Oh, I forgive you. It doesn't matter whether they know or not. It's for you, and it's about you.
Yeah.
And so
Oh, go ahead.
so that goes with love your neighbor, because I think if somebody does you wrong, you don't like it, you hate them, whatever your
Yeah,
emotion.
you don't have to talk to them anymore, but you can forgive them kind of for yourself. And yeah, I see what you're saying. What I was gonna say was that when I think of love thy neighbor, I think of that when we went to go see Prom. And one of the songs, like the really fun one, he's like, love thy neighbor. And he was like singing and dancing because they were just like, being really like discriminatory against the girls and stuff like that. That's like the storyline of Prom. But that's what I think of when you say love thy neighbor. So it's like kind of makes like it's a funny thing. But so when he said, I was like, oh, that's funny because that song is so catchy and stuff. But yeah, the idea of like accepting someone like who they are or like for what they've done. I don't want to like put anybody on blast, but so like, I had like a really like I just talked to my friend earlier today about this, and
Mhm.
so I don't know if people know this, but I had a very interesting roommate situation like freshman year. Really felt like I was just being like kind of taken advantage of, and I think there was a lot I could have done to make myself not be taken advantage of. And
Mhm.
then there's a lot that other person could have done to make sure that they weren't taking advantage of me. And I don't know if just time happened, but like that person like we're all like we're not like best friends. I wouldn't even say we're friends. We're like just oh roomie, like mind you, we stopped being roommates because of this. Roomie, I miss you so much. Like, hey, like, oh my gosh. Like, oh, siding up on each other's stories and still supporting each other, you know? And like, I don't know what happened. Oh, but there was like complete forgiveness on both sides. And at first I was like, why is she talking about, hey, roomie, like I miss you? And I was like, well, maybe I should just look at myself. Like, if she's done that, then I should be able to do the same.
Mhm.
And I was just thinking, I was talking to one of my friends about it earlier, today, actually, literally today. And I was like, that was like the biggest like, that was the probably like, that really impacted my life, that whole thing, because I saw how she, like, forgave the situation, and I know that she probably had less forgiving to do than me, but I was just like, "So she's really cool with me? Like, we can really move past this?" And I was like, "That was, like, so big."
Yeah.
So that, like, whole situation, like, it really, like, impacted me because I just kind of learned that, like, it doesn't have to be, like, a boy or, like, or this or that, you know what I mean? But it's just be like, "Okay, this happened," but that doesn't have to define, like,
Your
it doesn't
relationship
define it.
forever.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not saying like we're not even like we're not friends. But, like I'm not like I wouldn't talk bad about her. If someone asked me, "Oh yeah, that happened freshman year." It's not like, "Oh my gosh, she's so evil for that one thing she did." So, I
Yeah.
really like that. And I feel like I have love for her too. So like so yeah. So I really
Yeah, and people
I just
grow
talked
up
to her
and
earlier
people
today. That's
mature. Like who you were at 18,
yeah.
uh, hopefully by the time you're 21 is a little different. It may not be drastically different, but you're growing.
Yeah.
And I think that's a great lesson. I'm glad you learned it there that that you can forgive.
Yeah, it's really not everything has to be that deep. Like
Yeah.
this happened and it won't happen again.
Exactly. You haven't put
We
yourself
won't
in
have
that
to be
situation
roommates
again.
again, but we can be friends. We might not remember be roommates again, but we could be, hey girl, how are you doing? Like I'm proud of your accomplishments and you're proud of mine.
Yeah, and it's like you said, not everything's that deep.
Yeah.
Sometimes we take stuff so personally that we make it that deep.
Yeah.
It's not really that deep. And it's a funny thing that happens uh in relationships, and this may be a whole nother conversation for another day. Like I was reading something the other day about like getting hurt, like being hurt in relationship
Mhm.
and um and forgiveness, which kind of ties into this, but I thought it was very interesting and it may not really tie in perfectly, but I think it's a story worth telling again. And the author, and I can't remember who it was, so I'm not trying to take credit for this, but the author basically said, um, when you're done wrong in any relationship, it doesn't have to be just a male female thing, but when you are done wrong in a relationship, uh and you forgive that other person,
Yeah.
you love them just a little bit less, but they love you a little bit more because you were able to forgive them, right? And if you think about your situation with your roommate, like you had a newfound respect for her, right? Because she was able to move past that. So that
Yeah.
kind of relates to that.
Yeah, a
Like you
little
love
bit.
them
You're
a
right.
little bit less, they love you a little bit more, but you able to, let's say
Yeah,
you
well, in that
forgive them.
situation, like it was kind of the opposite.
Yeah, yeah,
Like
yeah,
she
yeah.
forgave me, and I was like, "What? Yeah, like I kind of like her a little bit more now."
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, and it's a little different than like it's a little different because you didn't do her wrong, you know what I'm saying? But say you're done wrong, the theory is you love this is just a theory. You love them a little bit less, they love you a little bit more.
Yeah.
And then let's just say it happens again. You get hurt again, same person, whatever.
Mhm.
Let's just say this is a male-female relationship and you just
Yeah.
get back together. Next time it happens, it doesn't hurt you as much, but you then love them a little bit less, and they love you a little bit more because you've learned to forgive them.
Yeah.
And let's just say it's the third time. Again, you're not as hurt because you've been hurt,
Mhm.
and you're not as affected. You love a little bit less, they love a little bit more. By the time it's over and you've made a decision
Yeah.
to break it up, the relationship is at a point where you don't love them as much, or you don't love them at all, but they love you more than they ever have.
Yeah. And then it's like, well, too
And
bad.
it's like it's too late at that point, right? And I thought that was so interesting to hear it from that perspective,
Yeah.
because if you've ever been in this like back and forth thing, at some point you're done. At some point you're done. And at that point, they may love you more than ever. Like, this is the love you wanted when you first
Right.
started.
When you were like this.
Now I'm like this, you like this. And so it's over. You're done. As a woman, sometimes we know when we're done, like we're done. But at that point, it's so funny. At that point, relationship, you've been hurt enough where you're done, but they've been forgiven so much that now they love you more. Like, that was the love you wanted when you first started. And so
Yeah.
the forgiveness thing is very interesting. And I thought that theory was really interesting. And I'm sure that people can poke holes all into it. But anyway, this is really what I wanted to share with you. And I'm sure I'm going to think of a million things more between now and forever. But like, I wanted you to know, and I didn't want to get all mushy, but like, if anything,
And this video is here, so
yes, there's no promise for any of us, right? And so we have to live our lives. But if, I have a daughter who I love, two daughters actually. And I want you to know, these are lessons that I just want you to take with you. I swear, if you internalize loving yourself, being kind to others, being yourself, taking care of yourself, and loving thy neighbor, I've done my job. I've done my job. And I just, like you said, this video is here forever. If you ever needed to look at it
all
again,
right.
what did my mom say? You have it. So I really appreciate, and God knows I appreciate this time that we had now, and every other day that I get to spend with you. But you know, just know I love you, and I'm so proud of
You, Mommy.
That's it. That's all I have. Zaya's gonna get some very similar advice, but
Yeah,
that's
so was this just like, I was wondering, is this your advice to me, or is this your advice like,
this
or
this is my mother-daughter advice. It's not gonna change much from mother to son, but I want to give him some extra tidbits, but most of it is about supporting, making sure he's not just completely focused, supporting whoever his loved one's going to be, but making sure he's doing stuff to support. So taking care of yourself, but don't be so focused on yourself. Like, if you
yeah,
have a spouse or a wife or like that, like, make sure you're
yeah, I
supporting
see what
her.
you're saying.
Like,
So
so
it's
that
kind of
kind of thing.
different.
Yeah. So we do that by nature. They don't. So he needs that extra
Yeah,
advice.
definitely.
So anyway, love you, man. Thank you for doing this.
I love you too, Mommy.
And I'll see you next week. Well, I'll see you Thursday. Happy birthday, girls, coming up Thursday. So love you.
Love you too. Bye, YouTube, Facebook.
Bye.
Bye.